just sit back. Come take a seat at the table. We are just getting started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Broadcasting Results with Rouse. Tonight, we are here to hear a little bit more about housing, the growth, and our community. And I would like to welcome Mr. Spurlock, the Business Development Manager of South Carolina State Housing, to the platform tonight. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, while he has a very wealth of information, I ask as you come on in, if you have any questions, please be sure to drop them in the comments area. And Mr. Spurlock, before we kind of just dive into the services that you all offered, if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at South Carolina Housing.
Okay. Well, like I said, Claude Spurlock. I've been with the Housing Authority for 23 years, and I basically do sales rep for all the lenders and realtors throughout the state. I attend all kinds of events and talk about state housing and how wonderful it is, and how we can give you $10,000 to help buy your home. So we have a lot of information that we give out all the time.
Now, did you say $10,000, right, to buy
We
your?
have 10,000 on one program. We actually have a new program with 25,000 that we can also talk about today.
Okay, sounds good. So, in your 23 years, what have just continued to inspire you for your passion with housing and helping community development?
To go home every day and know that I may have helped somebody get in a house that would have never got into a house without me being here. That's the main thing. I really enjoy my job. I love what I do, and to help people get into houses is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, for the viewers that may not know exactly what South Carolina Housing does, can you kind of tell us a little bit an overview of what your agency do?
Yeah, we have a lot of different departments. We do the tax credit programs with apartment complexes. We do vouchers for 7 counties throughout the state. And then, of course, the mortgage department, which I'm involved with, we do first-time homebuyer loans with a very loose definition of first-time homebuyer, by the way, that we can help people get into their first house.
Okay, sounds good. So, obviously, we know like housing, it's just not about a building, right? We realize that housing comes with impacting stability, health, of course, education. We look at the economic growth and overall the quality of life for our communities, right? And
That
so,
is correct.
can you lead us into talking about some of your major programs and services that you all currently offer to the residents?
Okay, on our mortgage program, we have 2 basic programs. We have our homebuyer program that is tied to the bonds. It is a first-time homebuyer program, but very loose definition of first-time homebuyer. Then we have Palmetto Home Advantage, that is a non-bond program that is for people that can't qualify for our bond. Now, talking about the bond, it is a first-time homebuyer, but here again, loose definition of first-time homebuyer. We have 12 counties that are Aiken, Anderson, Charleston, Greenville, Greenwood, Lancaster, Lexington, Oconee, Pickens, Richland, Spartanburg, and York. Those are called non-targeted counties. So in those 12 counties, you cannot own a house in the last 3 years to be a first-time homebuyer. We also have a veteran exception, and that veteran exception, if you are discharged, anything other dishonorable, we will waive the first-time homebuyer rule in those 12 counties. So then the other 34 counties, which all the other counties, I can't list all those, but if it's a first-time homebuyer in those counties, which are mostly rural, we waive the first-time homebuyer rule if you sell your house before closing. So as long as you do not own a house at the time of closing, you're a first-time homebuyer with us in all those 34 counties that are left. So really a great opportunity for someone to get into a house. We have income and house price limits for the program, and like in Richland County, 1 or 2 persons that lives in the house, we only count the borrower's income though. So all we have to do is count the borrower, and it's $95,800. In 3 or more in a household in Richland County, you can make up to $110,170 and still qualify. And then, of course, your $450,000 max sales price is what we offer. But each county has their own income limit. And the nice thing about this, in most of the rural counties, the income limit is 114,960 for one or two person in the household, and 134,120 for three or more in the household with the 450 sales price. So you have to look at the county to make sure what that income limit is. But here again, it is just the borrower's income. We don't have
Okay.
to count total household. So I say a lot of times, if the your spouse doesn't have the greatest credit score and is going to throw you out of the program for having them on there, if you can qualify on your own, just buy the house in your name only, and then you can qualify and get our $10,000 down payment assistance. Now, the $10,000 is a 15-year forgivable loan. There are no payments on it. There's no interest on it. It just sits there for 15 years and goes away. If you need to sell the house before that 15 years are up, you would have to pay the full amount back. It is not prorated on there. And that $10,000 can be used for down payment, closing costs, prepaid. And now, if you're doing a conventional loan, if people understand a lot about mortgages, you can have mortgage insurance on a conventional loan. You can do an upfront premium, and you can take that out of the down payment assistance, and you don't have a monthly premium for your mortgage insurance. It really doesn't help you out at all. It just helps the bank out in case of default. So, and now your down payment cannot be used for appraisal gap, to pay off debt, or for real estate commission. It cannot be used for any of those items.
Okay.
The Everything is a fixed rate loan. We really have good rates, even though as bad as the rates are we hear about right now. On our bond program for government, it's 6.125 fixed. For conventional, 6.5. And if you for some reason don't want our down payment, maybe you are selling a house, or maybe your parents or something are giving you a gift of the down payment, we have a 5.125 fixed rate if you don't take our down payment assistance. So that is another great option that we have. Your credit score is 640 minimum. 45 debt to income ratio is our maximum debt to income ratio. On here, you will have to file your taxes. So we do require that you've paid your taxes. If you're in a non-target county, there's 3 years you have to have tax transcripts. 1 year in the targeted counties. And after April 15th, you have to have filed your 2025 taxes of this year on April 15, 2026. You would have to file those taxes on there. We also have several community lending products that are for those rural counties that we have in the state. So we have 29 counties that if you buy a house in one of those 20 counties, and all these are on our website also, we will give you a 0.5% off the rate, so a 5.625 fixed rate, and $10,000 in down payment assistance if you're buying a house in one of those 29 counties. And these counties like Abbeville, Allendale, Bamberg, Darlington, I'm just skipping around, Fairfield, Marlboro, Newberry, Newberry on there. I'm sorry, not Newberry. I misspoke on that one. Saluda, Union, Williamsburg County. So there's a lot of different counties that you can qualify for the County First program and get that lower interest rate. We
Okay.
also we also have one for families with disabilities. If the person buying the house is 100% disabled, their spouse, their children, or even their parents that live with them, any of those 100% disabled, will give them 5.625 is the rate today, plus the $10,000 in down payment assistance. We have a first generation home buyer. So if you have never owned a home before and your parents have never owned a home before, we will give you the 5.625 rate and $10,000 in down payment assistance. And something that we don't do a lot of, I wish we did more of, is called a housing choice voucher. So if you happen to have a rental assistance voucher, you can check with your county, and if they will allow it, you can convert that into a homeownership voucher, and you will get that voucher amount for 15 years to help make your house payment. Now it does take 2 or 3 months to get all that paperwork done and everything, something that doesn't happen very quickly. And some counties don't do it and some don't. So you'd have to check with the county. If you get a voucher and you want to buy a home, check with your county to see if they will allow that, and they'll put you through a training program. It's like 15 hours of in-person training, and all different kind of things. And then at the end, they will give you a letter saying you're going to get this amount of money each month to help make your house payment. And you can buy like a two-bedroom, three-bedroom house, two bath, for $200,000 or whatever it might be.
Okay. Mrs. Spurlock, if I can stop you for just a second in regards to the housing choice, because I know oftentimes individuals are looking for additional support in regards to their mortgage. And if I heard you correctly, the voucher is based on the county approval. Is that right?
Yes, each county has so many vouchers they can give. Like right now, I hate to say, we do seven vouchers in the Columbia, in Richland County, Lexington County, Kershaw County. I think Lee County's in there. A couple other, and there's seven of them total. And those counties, we handle the vouchers here, but in all the other counties, the county handles it. In Columbia, we have like a $5,000, $10,000, 10,000, excuse me, a
Hmm.
$10,000 person that are on the waiting list. So 10,000 people are on the waiting list for that. I'll get it out in a second. But that is the problem with that. It only opens once every couple of years, and we have such a demand that for those vouchers that we have to put them on a waiting list. And a lot of times, like I said, there's 10,000 people on that waiting list.
Yes, sir. Now you say I want to make sure people understand, especially those that are viewing and may need this assistant or may come back and watch it later. When we talk about each specific county, is there a certain department that citizens should contact to
They
get
have to contact the local housing authority and
okay,
then
housing?
ask for the voucher department at that housing authority.
Okay.
Like City of Columbia handles Richland County vouchers. And then North Charleston handles the one in Charleston County. So it just depends on where they're located, but it's always a housing authority that
Okay. So
issues vouchers.
so for the viewers to understand clearly in regards to this housing voucher, it is to assist your payments per month, right? Your
Correct.
mortgage payment,
Mhm.
and you all could seek support from your county's housing authority. Every county operates differently. And obviously, as he just mentioned, just in Columbia alone, it's 10,000 people on the waiting list. So we know that every county is different, but that's where you start at in regards to wanting this support. So thank
Right.
you for sharing that because I get questions all the time in regards to people that are, falling behind or just need that additional support for mortgage income. So I appreciate you sharing that information with
Yeah.
us.
And this works best if you already have a voucher and want to buy a home with that. That's how it works. So you have to be on the voucher for at least 12 months
Mm.
in the county that you're buying a house in. So that is some of the things that we offer and help with.
Okay. So I do want to go back too, because we do have a lot of seniors, veterans, and individuals that may be disabled. Can you go back and kind of recap a little bit in regards to the services that you all offer for that particular audience of individuals?
Okay. Like I said, my department, what I do is the first time homebuyer programs is what we offer, all the different programs that we have. We have a department if you're very low income. We have household repairs that we can do in some cases. We do the large apartment complexes. We give tax credits for those individuals to build on those big tax credit program developments that you have out there. We do here again the vouchers in the for seven counties. We have a servicing department that services the loans that we make in-house, so we can do them hopefully a little better than just a big company out in California or someplace doing the vouchers. We do those. I mean the servicing for the loans in-house. So, like I said, a lot of different things that we offer.
Okay. And just for those again that are seeking housing for the first time, you mentioned 10,000 and then I think I heard you say something about 25,000.
Yeah, we actually have a program for affordable housing, and it is we have 130 homes being built right now. Um, those houses will be built by D.R. Horton, Gainey Construction. They are located in Sumter. Housing Corporation of Rock Hill, of course, in Rock Hill. McGuinn Homes is just statewide also. And then at Oaken Avenue Properties in Spartanburg. They're building 130 homes. Those homes are 1,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and the house price is $200,000 for each one of those houses. And with that, they will get a $25,000 down payment assistance. That's a 10-year forgivable down payment assistance.
Mm.
Only houses that are built in the program can qualify for the 25,000. If they qualify for our bond program, they can actually do the 4.875 fixed rate on a government loan and 5.25 for a conventional loan if they're being able to handle that. Now, if they can't qualify for one of our bond programs, maybe some reason they can't qualify. If the lender, and they have to use one of our approved lenders, if they have an income of 135,000 or less, then if they can qualify for one of the lenders programs, they can get their rate, whatever they have, and the $25,000 in down payment assistance is a 10-year forgivable on that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can qualify for Made at Home. And we're hoping that it's going to be refunded this fall, and we will be able to do maybe another 130 houses. We'll have to wait and see what the government gives us extra for that to build those houses. But it's gone very well so far. There's only one house I think left in Sumter, and the others I don't know about, but they are really doing well on getting those up and sold.
So, do you have plans to maybe reach some of the rural areas with some of this
It's
construction?
going to be. We hope to, if we get refunded, to open it up to different builders, and
Okay.
just not. These are the only 5 that applied at the for the first round, and also now that it's working, I'm hoping that they're going to have additional builders apply, and they can build them in those different areas throughout the state.
So, when you say the only five that applied, these are general contractors that are applied to
To
be
through SC
development?
Housing. Yeah, we
Really?
sent an email out to help with work. I think we worked with the Builders Association and sent an
Okay.
email out on all the builders if they were interested in doing that. And so these are the first 5 that qualified. And so we gave out the first 130 houses to these builders.
Wow. So, typically, again, if in an idea where you're funded again, the pool is open. That means any builder across South Carolina can pretty much apply.
Yes.
Is that what I'm
They
hearing?
they can apply, and if they meet the restrictions that we have built in, then they can build. The least we did is 15 houses on this last time. 3 builders have 15 houses, and the others have the other 2 has the rest.
So, are these particularly general contractors or these are development? Um,
These are true builders.
okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. But it's also just good to know that those opportunities are out there for builders. Because
Yep.
oftentimes people don't recognize like how are all these developments going up from city to city or county to county, and not knowing that you can very well be a part of bringing more housing to different areas. So thank you for that information as
Yep.
well. And while we know that a lot of information that you just gave is very knowledgeable to individuals. What would you say are some of the misconceptions when people that people have when it comes for qualifying for housing assistance?
Uh, our qualifications are not that stringent. We do have a 640 minimum credit score, 45 debt to income ratio, 45% debt to income ratio. So it is. We have 135 approved lenders throughout the state, and those are all listed on our website. And you can call any of those lenders to get pre-approved for your home. And a lot of those lenders will actually, maybe you're not quite ready to buy a house right this second. They will help you and put you on a plan to get you ready to buy a home. And
Hmm.
so that's a nice thing about our lenders. Probably 99% of them will work with you and try to help you increase your credit score or something like that to be able to buy a house.
Thank you for that because that was going to be my leading question. I was sitting here thinking, how do we get? Because ideally, people want housing, right? People want to be
Yep.
able to say that they made the first purchase, and so my thoughts is, if we're not at that point of a 640, do you all offer kind of educational
Yeah.
programs for individuals to meet that threshold. So I appreciate you offering that. Are any of those things listed on your website?
The lenders are listed. You have to call the lender and talk with them and see what you might need to do or anything like that. Or they can get it pre-qualified on the phone and then tell you right then, okay, this is what you might need to do. They can help increase your credit score and things like that. Is mainly the thing that gets somebody is their credit score.
Yes, sir.
I hate to say that, but a lot of people just don't think about their credit score when they're young, and then that follows them for a while. It'll stay there about 7 years if you do something bad. So that's the bad thing about that the credit score that we have to use.
So I have a poking question. Not that I did anything bad, and I'm asking this for probably a lot of individuals that are out there probably viewing. And it's not that we've done things bad, but a lot of us have went to college, and some of us have student loans. Can you talk about how that impacts what you all, the services that you all offer?
Yeah, you have to, if you owe student loans, you have to be making the payments. You can't be defaulted on the student loans. And the main thing we tell people is, make sure you get them consolidated into one payment, so it's very simple to see. And then you get it on an income-based payment. And a lot of times that payment will be very low, and then you can use that. It'll be, of course, one of your debts that you'll have to pay, have to list on your application when you do the loan. But that's the main thing is to make sure that you can get them consolidated, get an income-based payment, and then that's what we will have to use. Because if not, we have to use, I think it's 2% of the balance as the payment amount. So if you have that income-based payment out there, then that's what we will use. And that's
Yes.
normally a whole lot less than 2%.
Absolutely. Thank you. You all, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments area in regards to housing and how this agency can better serve and or assist you in any way.
Yeah.
So when we move on and talk about just where we are as a state, or just across the world, period, what challenges that you see community are currently facing regarding housing?
Uh, Main thing, there's not enough of it. That's what we see a lot of. We have, um, there's just not enough new houses. Everybody wants a new house. And so you see a lot of the new construction, but there's not enough or affordable. A lot of them are 3,000 square feet, 4,000, 5,000 square feet. They're large houses, and of course they come with a large payment. And so to make those smaller, affordable housing, you don't see that much of it throughout the state. And that's one thing that we hope with our Made at Home that we're going to have some of those smaller houses that people can afford at $200,000.
Absolutely. Another question I have here for a veteran that might have got assistance in another state but decide to move to South Carolina, would that affect them in regards to being considered as a first time home buyer for South Carolina?
Well, the nice thing about veterans, if you are discharged, anything other dishonorable, we waive that first-time homebuyer rule in every county.
Mm,
Now you have to have sold that house that you had. You can't own another house, but we will waive that first-time homebuyer rule. So veterans are very welcome on our program, and we do a good many VA loans.
okay, so they can move from another state to South Carolina and still
Yep.
pretty much qualify for your services.
Correct. They just can't own another house at time of closing.
Okay, sounds good. Now, do you all help assist them? Let's say if they want to purchase a home here, but still have an open loan, do you all help with the process of selling it?
No, we do not.
Okay,
All that we do is offer the loan for the new home is
okay,
all that we do.
thank you. Again, you all, if you have any questions, we thank you all for tuning in. But if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments area. So, can you tell us, like, how important is collaboration when we talk about local government, nonprofit businesses, and just housing agencies overall?
Yeah, a lot of that is they have down payment assistance programs also. A lot of the local housing authorities, you can stack them with us. So we give $10,000. If you have a local housing authority that's given 5,000, you get 15,000 as long as there'll be a third behind our first and second. So we see a lot of that. There's a thing, some of the community banks are members of the Home Loan Bank of Atlanta. And right now they're giving, I think, $15,000 in down payment assistance. So you put that with ours, you get $25,000. Or you used it and used our no down payment at 5.125 rate on a government loan, and use their 15,000 as down payment assistance, and you can get a great rate and $15,000. So there's a lot of different ones out there that you can like piggyback with us.
Wow, and that is great to know because I think again when we go back to, I'm using the word the struggle, I would say when people are thinking about down payment and wanting to be able to put down as much as they can, often we don't know that we can kind of pretty much do like coupons, stack it on top of each other. And so that's
Exactly.
to know that
Uh,
it's a, oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
we had a couple, that's gotten $40,000, $50,000. And now we can't lend in Charlotte, but I think Charlotte's giving like $75,000 in down
Wow.
payment assistance if you buy in the city limits of Charlotte. Now that would be North Carolina housing. So, and they have a lot of the same products that we offer. But that is, like I said, you think about that, get 75 in the house, and North Carolina housing given 10, you'll get $85,000 to help buy a home. So it just depends on where you're buying and what's available out there at the time.
Got you. Thank you for that. And again, I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that's helpful for individuals that are out there seeking to buy a home and know that they could, definitely search around to other agencies that are
Yeah,
offering payments as well and be able to use as much, stack it up as much as possible as
exactly.
out there use it. Yes, sir. I do want to ask a question. Um, about our teachers, our first time, some people will call them our frontliners. And I
Yeah.
know, funding for that is probably over, but then can you just talk briefly about what that program was and
Yeah,
what,
yeah, we have a great program called Palmetto Heroes. It comes out every spring, and we've done it for I think 17 years now. And it has for teachers that are certified in teaching in a public school, the guidance counselors, the speech language pathologists will qualify. Your teachers at the college will also qualify, and they don't have to have a teaching certificate. Then we have our correctional officers, police officers,
really?
um, DNR officers. All those will qualify for that. We have I'm trying to think of all of them. I didn't print that out. We have our police officers, correctional officers. Then we have the God, my mind just went blank on this.
No, you're good. So I do have
And
a question if I can help you out here. When you talk about certified, so what about those individuals in the educational system that are probably in some of these alternative programs?
nope, they
They
can't qualify. They must have
okay,
that teaching certificate. Also, but in the hospitals, the teachers, your nurses, CNAs, any tech at the hospital that has a state or federal certification would qualify for that program. So we have a lot, and also social workers that are state or federal certified that work with patients every day. Then your military, your reservist, all of them qualify. Firemen, teachers, firemen also qualify. Your and so those will qualify also. Now, last year we had $70 million. It came out on March the 18th, and then it was closed out on April, I think the 13th. It had 21 days. We went through $73 million, and
wow.
so we ran out of funding for that. The rate was 4.875 to start with, and so it was just a crazy 21 days that we had that program. It will be back in 2027, in the spring of 2027, hopefully with more money than this year because it went so quickly. And
Right.
we'll have to wait on that. But we do have a special, like I said, for your firemen, policemen, teachers, nurses, correctional officers
Okay,
on that.
I do want to go back to the hospital standpoint. Is it solely for those that works in the hospital? What about just healthcare overall?
They have to be working for a medical facility.
Hmm.
And here again, they must have a state or federal certification and work with with patients on a regular basis, face to face.
Okay.
Not an admin that sits in an office and just reads paper all the time. It's got to
Okay.
be somebody that's going to be able to do that, actually work with the patients and help them out.
So it won't be like some healthcare has like community health workers, home visitors that actually work with clients in the
They
community.
they have to follow and they have to have state or federal certifications,
Okay.
and like a nurse or CNA or something like that.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I was just asked because I know that there's a lot of elements in regards to healthcare, so I want to make sure that if that helps supports anyone that is in that field, that they know that they could take advantage of the services as well. Um, so when we talk about families, we talked about obviously our credit score, our debt ratio. Um, how can families begin, from your standpoint, over 23 years, begin doing what can they begin doing now to better help prepare them financially?
Okay. First of all, check their credit, see where they are in the process. If you have credit cards, make sure you pay them on time and you keep them right at below 50%, better at 30% of what the total is. So that's all you should have on your credit cards out there. Never co-sign for anybody for anything. That is a biggest problem that we see, that, because the minute you co-sign for somebody, you're responsible for that. And a lot of people don't realize that until it's too late. I had one the other day talk to me, and they had co-signed for a mobile home for their cousin. And of course, the cousin decided not to make the payments. That hurt their credit, and they couldn't buy a house because of that. But that kind of stuff is what you see most of. But here again, make sure that your credit is up to date and that all those credit cards are being paid on time. If you need to, I always laugh. I tell the story that if you can't control your credit cards, and my wife was a good example of that. She couldn't do that ever. But get a milk carton, one of the old cardboard cartons, fill it halfway with water, put it in your freezer. Then the next day, bring it out, put your credit cards in there, fill it the rest of the way up, and put it in the back of your freezer and leave it. And don't touch it until you close on your house and you're cleaning the house out to go to your new house. And that way you will not be able to use those credit cards at all. But that's one of the biggest things. People just can't seem to stop using their credit. And if you want to buy a house, you have to go in and really make some hard decisions on if you really want that house badly enough, and do something like that. That's crazy, but it works.
23 years, I'm sure you have a lot of tricks that you can tell us in regards to how to be able to maintain that. And I thank you for mentioning that. Can you tell the viewers, those that are potentially looking to take advantage of your services or may in the future want to buy a house, how they can continue to apply for some of the things that you mentioned early on, and how they can learn more about your agency?
Okay, you should go to our website, which is schousing.sc.gov, and the website will come up, and then you will see home buyers. You click on home buyers. You can find a realtor. You can find a loan officer. And first thing to do is talk to that loan officer and see where you are in the process. You might be ready right now. You may need a couple of months to be ready. But that's the main thing, because you'll get somebody that's gone through our training classes. They understand the products, and they will tell you what you can qualify for.
Yes.
If you get that pre-qualification, then find your realtor. Find a house. They come back to the loan officer. They do all our paperwork for us at their office. You don't have to contact us at all directly. That'll all be done by the lender. And then they'll just close that house, and they will buy that from them after closing, and you'll make your payments to SC Housing.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. The one thing you mentioned, I realized that, resources only works when community know that they even exist. And you've
Yep.
shared a lot of things, even tonight, that I've even learned. And so I appreciate that you were able to take time out to share the information to us. Is there any message that you would like to leave to South Carolina residents in regards to the work that you do?
Um, I was thinking, if you are ready to buy a house, SC Housing is here. We have lots of programs available. We have down payment assistance always available. And like I said, right now, the $10,000, that can buy a $225,000 house and pay your full down payment for you. You don't even have to save up for anything. So it is a great opportunity. We have all our lenders out there that's more than willing to help you if you need help getting ready to buy a house. We've got them out there. They're on our website. All our programs are all listed there for more details of our programs. And you always can call our office, our help desk that we have is 803-896-2211. That's 803-896-2211. And we will tell you about our products if we need to go over the details with you. I'm more than happy to do that.
Thank you. Now you had 23 years experience of this and quite some. I know you went probably through the ups and downs, but you also are very knowledgeable of the work that you do. And that's what I appreciate about you. And so what would you give or what gives you, I would say, hope about the future of housing and community growth here in South Carolina?
The main thing is that there's always help out there for you. If you look for the help, you can get it, and you can get into a house. That's the main thing. A lot of people, just look at that and say, "Oh, I got to have $10,000 to buy a house. I'll never be able to do that." But then we're right here with that. We can help you get that house and get you and to start buying a home, making wealth. That's how you make wealth, is to buy real estate, and that appreciation will help you, be able to buy other things. So, but it's a great opportunity for you, and there's always available at SC Housing and other housing authorities throughout the state. Check around, Google your area and see what's available, because that's the main thing that people just don't know about it. I still talk to people and they say, "Oh, I need 20% down to buy a house." No, you only need 3% down, and we'll give you that 3% in a
Mm,
lot of cases. And it's amazing how many people still think that you have to put either 3 or 5% down to be able to buy a house, 20% down to buy a house.
thank you. Thank you for that. You all tonight, conversation reminds us that housing obviously it's just not about shelter. Given what Mr. Spurlock has mentioned to us, it gives us opportunity, stability, and it helps us just build a stronger community for generations to come. As he mentioned, it's just like an investment, something that you can continue to add upon, and it doesn't necessarily depreciate given the value of which you go after, and also what you can also extend with it and continue to do with it in the near future. And so to you, Mr. Spurlock, I want to say thank you, and South Carolina Housing, for the work that you all are doing, and also for you just being willing to join us here tonight just to share such valuable information. To everyone that is watching, I ask that you continue to stay informed, ask those questions that he mentioned, connect with your local resources so that they can help you and your family build a brighter future. As always, I ask that you all continue to follow Broadcasting Results with Rouse. Follow our social media page because you never know who's going to come and take a seat at the table. Again, tonight, Mr. Spurlock, we thank you for joining us and we wish you well in your 23 years still to come. Thank you, sir, for joining us. You all stay tuned and have a good night.
Okay, thank you.